Saturday Night Live. So a big 3.5 hour special, 50th anniversary. And I've got some thoughts. So Saturday Night Live came on just when I was starting my career. So I've been 50 years in the journalism business, and SNL has been 50 years in the satire business. And I always admired people who could make me laugh, particularly talking about current events. I think that's so important, that satire is such a great talent, skill. You know, we got to make fun of ourselves sometimes. We get to overdo it. So in the beginning, they're all unbelievable. Belushi and Aykroyd and Gilda Radner and Garrett Morris, Lorraine Newman, Chevy Chase. Chase was problematic, not a nice guy at all, but skilled. And the show just took off. You know the history of it. And then it went up and down, in and out, up and down, in and out. It got into a lot of trouble when Donald Trump got into politics, because it took a very hateful approach toward Donald Trump, where it hadn't in the past. So they mocked Jimmy Carter, Gerald Ford, the Bushes, even Barack Obama. They were gentle on Obama. But it wasn't hateful. But Trump got hateful. Now, the guy who runs the show is Lorne Michaels. He's a genius, the guy. I know him. And tremendous talent evaluator. Tough guy. Not benevolent, I don't think. But he's got loyalists who love him. And you saw them in the special. You know, Jack Nicholson showed up, big friends with Lorne Michaels. Steve Martin, he's a comic genius. He started off that special, and he was great. And that's a tough spot, to come out in a big, program like that and hit the monologue the way Martin did. Boy, I never met Martin, by the way, but I've always admired him. He's a very, very funny guy. And the show last night was okay. I wasn't on the floor or anything like that, but I admired the way it was put together and the skill sets of most of the people in the audience. So they opened with Paul Simon, 83, and he looks it. And then they brought on a young woman, Sabrina Carpenter, to help Paul on Homeward Bound. And she was good, an effervescent presence. I don't know her very well. I mean, I've heard the name. And then they went into their skits. Eddie Murphy, I would have liked to have seen more of. Genius. And he played Tracy Morgan, my pal, who's a great guy. And Tracy was standing next to him. And that was really creative. That was in Black Jeopardy with Kenan Thompson, another really funny guy. And that fell flat when they tried to do a MAGA thing with Tom Hanks. Didn't work. But that's all right. You got to try. I don't mind satire about MAGA or Trump, as long as it's not hateful. Hateful is the dividing line. And SNL has not been hateful, generally speaking, over the years. Michaels, he goes up to the line, but he doesn't cross it. But they made a mistake with the Trump stuff, and they lost a lot of cachet. But you may have noticed that in 3.5 hours, no Trump stuff. Trump didn't, no impressions, didn't mock him, weren't after him. Alec Baldwin only appeared, 30 seconds, 40 seconds? And he's like attached the hip to Michaels on Saturday Night Live. But he would bring back that far left countenance. Tina Fey, another progressive loon, she's a writer, and they have a strong relationship, Michaels and her. I understand that. The Weekend Update, always my favorite part of the show. I think Jost and Che are excellent. And I went out, I know Dennis Miller as well as anybody knows him. We were out across the country doing shows. Miller gave me all kinds of great stuff. Norm Macdonald was a friend of mine. R.I.P. for Norm, genius. And Miller is, first rate, funny. And so I know. And I always liked, that sharp boom, 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 boom on a Weekend Update. Bill Murray, nasty guy like Chevy. In fact, those two almost punched each other out, Murray and Chase. And I ran into Murray one time, and this is a good story. So I was over at NBC after I had appeared on Saturday Night Live myself. And if you want to see that, it was, let's see, 13 years ago, February 18th. Wow. 13 years. Whew. And I ran into Murray, and he went poof, like this. I go, stared him in the eye. I'm 6'4", he's about 5'10". I go, problem? Oh, boy. He scampered out of there because I don't brook that. You don't like me, that's okay. A lot of people don't like me. Probably more people don't like me than do like me. But don't give me, I mean, you know, you got something on your mind? Let's hear it. But he scampered away. Back to last night. 50 years. I mean, I can't believe I've lasted 50 years in my profession, but 50 years on that kind of a platform. But Saturday Night Live has always been a weekly satire that the country needed, which is why I respect it. Let me run down some performers you might want to think, hear what I think about them. So last night, I missed Dan Aykroyd. Aykroyd and Belushi made that show. Chase got all the ink, but Belushi and Aykroyd in 1975, they were the heart of that show. And then Murray came later. Murray was good. Jane Curtin and Lorraine Newman were there. You know, Garrett Morris, they're all up there and look their age. Martin Short. Martin, he needed to do Jiminy Glick character? That's what he needed to do there, but it's very tough. Steve Martin, way above the rest. He can do it, but very tough for the others to break through. A lot of them have died. Belushi, as everybody knows, Phil Hartman, another tragedy. Lorraine Newman was still alive, as I said. Gilda Radner died. A lot of them not around. Chris Farley. Boy, I wish I could have talked to him, you know? Kate McKinnon is a genius. There's absolute genius. I don't know if she's going to make it in the movies. That was really, Saturday Night Live was wow. And as I mentioned, Kenan Thompson, Davidson, Bowen Yang, all very, very good. Sherry O'Terry, I missed her. Darrell Hammond, I missed him. They didn't get much attention. They're very good performers. Okay, so let me tell you what the story was. So I got a call in February of 2012 to host Saturday Night Live from Lorne Michaels. And I wanted to do it, but it would have been bad for me to do it because I'm not a sketch guy. I'm spontaneous. I can hold my own. But I don't think that would have, but you know, my ego and all that, I would have tried it. But I couldn't get away 6 days from Fox. So we entered a compromise that I would do a skit called What Up With That with Kenan Thompson. And Hader was on the skit, and a model was on the skit, Kate Upton. And I had a blast. Then he wrote me a script, and two really good writers, I forget their name, came into the dressing room on the rehearsal and said, well, here's your script. I go, I don't need a script. I'll just play off Thompson, okay? And that's what I did. I didn't even use a script, okay? So Thompson said, all right, tell me about killing Lincoln. That was the premise of why I was there. And I said, well, you know, it's a, and then he goes into his dance. But the funny part was, while he was doing his shtick, What Up With That, I would give him looks, all right? Because I told the writers, I said, when he's doing that, make sure the director gets shots of me, like, and it worked. That was a lot of fun. I mean, I have to say. Now, Thompson himself, he had no idea who I was. He had no blanket idea. It was fine. Hader knew. Upton, I don't know. Upton didn't have much to say in the script. He was just there. But it was, one of the highlights of my career was doing Saturday Night Live. And I appreciate Lorne Michaels thinking about me and putting me on. They did impressions of me. Jason Sudeikis and Hammond both mocked me, and it was fine. That was satire, and they didn't do it in a mean way. So anyway, I am a big SNL fan. I'm glad. I hope they're coming back from the hate stuff. That's good. But a very worthy enterprise for 50 years in the United States. Thank you for listening to me tonight on our YouTube channel. I will see you next time. Thank you for watching. To view full episodes of the No Spin News anytime, sign up to become a BillO'Reilly.com premium or concierge member today.